filthy rich giant baby just moved into our dorm. She offers 1,000 bucks just to clip her toenails, 2,000 to do her makeup once, and 3,000 for a massage. I was definitely tempted. But my best friend Yang Hua pulled me back with disdain. A person shouldn't sacrifice their dignity just for the sake of some quick cash, right? But later on, when my grandma broke her leg and desperately needed surgery, Yang Hua mocked me from the seat of the principal's BMW. She even secretly filmed me pleading with him for help, slandering me as the principal's secret mistress. I became a social pariah despised by everyone. Ultimately, I couldn't raise the medical fees. My grandma was kicked out of the hospital and paralyzed for life. In a state of mental exhaustion, I was sent flying by the principal's wife's car. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the day that rich roommate first moved in. I absolutely hate this spot. Who wants to swap with me? I'll give whoever does it 10,000 yuan. Liu Ruyan saw that no one was paying her any attention, and a flicker of awkwardness crossed her face. In a fit of pique, she jacked the price up to 20,000. I was just about to speak up, but Yang Hua grabbed me. Herful Xiaoxin. She's just acting like a big shot. 20,000 just to swap a bed. I bet she's not even that loaded. Don't fall for her trap. I shook off her hand without a second thought. I whipped out my phone instantly. Beaming as I said, I'll swap with you. My spot is the prime real estate of this dorm. Nowhere near the toilet or the door. And you won't get hit by the AC draft. Guaranteed satisfaction. A satisfied smirk spread across Liu Ruyan's face. She was just about to scan my QR code when Yang Hua suddenly slapped my phone out of my hand. It hit the floor, the screen shattering instantly. Oh, I'm so sorry, Xiao Xin. It was a total accident. She thought I missed the flash of pure malice in her eyes. I picked up the phone and gave it a quick check. It was still functional. Go ahead and scan the code, classmate. Once it goes through, I'll even make your bed. The second the transaction cleared. The payment received 20,000 yuan alert echoed through the dorm. Everyone was absolutely floored. Holy crap. She actually has that kind of crazy money? The air was thick with instant regret. They were all kicking themselves for not sucking up to her sooner. Yang Hua bit her lip, huffing as she turned to leave. I grabbed her arm, my voice cold and indifferent. Hold on, just now. You smashed my phone? Pay up. A flicker of shock crossed Yang Hua's eyes, followed by a look of utter disbelief. Xiaoxin. We're best friends who grew up together, sisters. You're seriously demanding money from me for this? Oh, so she remembers. That we grew up together as best friends, does she? This girl has been leeching off me since high school, buying clothes on my account, ordering takeout on my dime. I paid for every single detail of her life. In my past life, when Yang Hua got wasted, I literally carried her home from the bar on my back. She bragged then about being the principal's mistress for a year. She spent money like water, dripping in designer brands from head to toe. But when I begged to borrow money for grandma's surgery, she just mocked me heartlessly. Oh, well, the sisterhood ends now. As of today, I'm drawing a hard line between us. Don't you dare touch a single thing of mine ever again. Also, this phone was brand new as of yesterday. It cost me 1,299 yuan. The receipt is right here. Either pay the full price for a replacement, or cough up 500 for a screen repair. You just pocketed 20,000 grand. Do you really need to shake me down for 500 bucks, eh? God, you are so incredibly petty. Seeing that I wasn't backing down, Yang Hua's face soured into a resentful pout. I clapped my hands, raising my voice for the whole room to hear. Check it out, everyone. Yang Hua shamelessly broke my phone. And now she's too broke to even pay 500 for the damage. Better keep a close eye on your stuff from now on. Unless you want this deadbeat touching your things. Yang Hua bit her lip so hard it turned white, digging her nails into her palms, eyes welling up with those fake, pitiful victim tears. Our roommate Zhu Qing rushed over to shield Yang Hua, acting like she was protecting a victim. It's only 500 bucks. Is all this drama really necessary? You're working part-time jobs every single day, so you can make that back in a heartbeat, can't you? Besides, Hua Hua didn't break it on purpose. Why are you being so incredibly petty about this? And to think she actually considered you her best friend. You have zero compassion in your heart. I seriously wondered if her brain was functioning correctly. Where did you get this holy saint complex from? Since you're such a benevolent soul, why don't you just pay it for her? The second money was mentioned. Zhu Qing shut her mouth. Yang Hua started up again, whining and sniffling in that annoying tone of hers. She habitually twiddled her index fingers in front of her chest, giving me a fake timid apology. Xiaoxin, I'm so sorry. I just paid my tuition. So I don't have the cash right now. You've been working so many side hustles. Yet you don't even have a measly 500 too? Maybe you should look into some shady nightlife work then. Yang Hua instantly exploded in a fit of humiliated rage, lunging forward to slap me across the face. Zhu Qing held her back, acting all shocked. Gosh, Yangxin, that is way out of line. The two of you used to be so close. And now you're ending it over a few hundred yuan? It's just not worth it. Of course she thought it wasn't worth it. For the past 2 years in this dorm, she and Yang Hua had been leeching off me like parasites to save themselves a fortune. Zhu Ting grabbed Yang Hua's hand and mine, trying to force a reconciliation between us. Yang Hua violently flung my hand away. Mark my words. I'm the one who doesn't want to be your friend anymore, and I'll pay you back that pathetic 500 yuan. With that, Yang Hua slammed the door and stormed out. I lowered my gaze unfazed. 10 years of fake friendship finally went down the drain. How does this cover even go on, hey? Someone help, I have no idea how to do this. Liu Ruyan's voice chimed in from behind me. I instantly discarded my lingering thoughts and beat Zhu Ting to the punch, expertly making the bed for her. Thanks. Hey, I'm actually starving. Is there anything decent to eat around here? Go grab me a meal. I'll pay you 1,000 for the trouble. The notification pinged 1,000 yuan received via Alipay. The moment that sweet voice alert finished, I bolted out the door like a professional sprinter, heading straight for the legendary chicken claypot place near the gate. 10 minutes later, I returned to the dorm with 2 steaming portions. As I passed by the principal's office, Yang Hua came bursting out, her face flushed a frantic shade of crimson. She shot me a venomous, hateful glare, before scurrying away as if the devil were on her heels. It was then I noticed the principal's wife clutching a stack of documents, walking purposefully toward her husband's office. Looks like someone was terrified of a run-in with the real queen, which explains the desperate panicked retreat. In my past life, Yang Hua framed me as the principal's secret mistress, subjecting me to endless humiliation and physical harm, and eventually costing me my very life. Since I've been given this second chance, I'll make sure Yang Hua pays every cent of the debt she owes. In the hallway, Yang Hua was huddled with a group of girls, whispering and gossiping about God knows what. As they caught sight of me, their chatter turned into sharp, judgmental looks filled with strange hostility. Worried about keeping the young miss waiting, I brushed past them and ducked back into our room. The gourmet chicken claypot has arrived, Come and get it while it's hot, yeah. The moment the aroma hit her nose, Liu Ruyan practically teleported over. What's this? The smell is absolutely heavenly. I used to work part-time at this specific shop. The hygiene standards are solid, and they don't overdo it with artificial additives. It's a rare culinary gem in this neighborhood. Suddenly, Zhu Ting hovered nearby, clearly desperate to score a free sample. Hey, it smells amazing. Ruyan, could I just try a tiny bite? If you ever need anything done, just let me know, okay? No way. I barely have enough for myself as it is. Having been shut down by the young miss, Zhu Ting turned her sights on me, giving me those pathetic puppy dog eyes that practically screamed for a scrap of attention. I lifted a succulent piece of chicken with my chopsticks. Zhu Ting reflexively held out her bowl to catch it. I bypassed her bowl entirely and dropped the meat into Liu Ruyan's. I've still got plenty over here. Here, have more. Liu Ruyan happily shoveled another massive mouthful of rice into her mouth. Zhu Ting slunk back to her desk and dejectedly ordered her own takeout. When Yang Hua finally drifted back into the room, the rich savory aroma made her nostrils flare, and she couldn't help but visibly swallow her own spit. She shot me a side eye and begrudgingly sent over 500 yuan, pointing at the transaction record with a huff. There, look. The debt is officially settled. I opened WeChat, tapped the accept button without a word, and simply grunted a fine before diving back into my food. Realizing I had zero intention of inviting her to the feast, she had the sheer audacity to grab her own chopsticks and tried to snatch a piece of chicken right from under my nose. I instantly parried her move, flicking the meat straight into the trash. Yang Hua erupted immediately. Hey, what the hell is your problem? I should be asking you that exact question, without even asking for my permission. What makes you think you're entitled to a single bite of my food? We're all roommates here, aren't we? So what if I take a little nibble? Why are you being such a freak? You're acting so incredibly stingy lately. What about all the times I ordered takeout before? You were always mooching off me back then. Did I ever make a scene about it? This pot cost 35 yuan. Since you're so generous and charitable, why don't you just sponsor my meals for the whole month? Besides, all that takeout you shared with me before was ordered through my account and paid for with my hard-earned cash. Consider this a tiny bit of much-needed compensation. Yang Hua looked absolutely floored by my shameless comeback. She hissed, "You're a psycho," under her breath, before storming off to her bed to doom-scroll in a fit of rage. Meanwhile, I stepped out into the quiet hallway to call my grandmother immediately. To prevent the horrific tragedy of my past life from repeating, I repeatedly warned her not to lift a single finger for work. After hanging up the phone, I transferred 5,000 yuan to both my parents, ordering them to keep a hawk-like watch over Grandma. A few moments later, my mother called back, her voice trembling and thick with emotion. Xin, is everything okay at school? Are you safe? Why did you suddenly send so much money home? Do you even have enough left for yourself to eat? I'm perfectly fine, Mom. I just did a few favors for a roommate and made some easy cash. Just promise me you'll look after Grandma. Whatever you do, don't let her touch any heavy labor right now. Tell her to watch her step when walking, and buy her a pair of non-slip shoes immediately. I get it, Mom sighed. Honestly, you're away at school, yet you're still worrying yourself sick over us. Your grandmother is as sturdy as an ox. She's square dancing every day. What could possibly happen? Even after hanging up the phone, a heavy sense of unease still lingered in my chest. In my past life, the scene of Grandma's fall was etched into my soul. I walked back into the dorm, opened my shopping app, and carefully selected several high-end anti-slip shoes for seniors. But just as I hit pay, a low balance notification popped up. Confused, I tapped into my transaction history, only to discover that just an hour ago, someone had ordered over 20 items from my cart. It was all professional streaming gear and a bunch of skimpy outfits. One glance and I knew it was Younghwa's doing. She even used the buy now pay later feature on my credit to ensure I wouldn't catch her in the act. She had even set my notifications to do not disturb. I was absolutely livid. I didn't just cancel and refund every single order. I changed every password on every account I owned. When Younghwa's screen flashed a login error, she practically levitated off her bed in a rage. She turned on me screaming, "Su Shin, did you seriously mess with my accounts? Like, what do you mean your accounts, Yoki? These are clearly registered in my name. What does me changing my own passwords have to do with you? Why are you being such a meddling bitch? I have a ton of gear that hasn't even arrived yet. It's my account and I'll do whatever the hell I want with it. And by the way, I've already refunded everything. How dare you listen? If my equipment doesn't arrive, I can't start my live streams. You're going to be held responsible for my lost income. My daily base pay is 200 yuan. Now I have to wait 3 days for a new order to arrive. So you owe me 600 yuan in damages? Owe you if you're that salty, go ahead and sue me. Furthermore, regarding everything you bought on my tab, and every meal you leached off my account, I've tallied it all up. It comes to exactly 13,560 yuan, and that's just your half of the split. I suggest you pay me back as soon as possible. Otherwise, I'll see your ass in court. I'll pay you back when I get my salary next month. Younghua's expression suddenly turned eerily calm. Seeing her composed attitude, I felt a deep sense of suspicion creeping in. Sure enough, by that afternoon, I found a post on Little Red Book dragging my name through the mud. The headline read, "What is it actually like living with a psycho roommate?" It detailed a laundry list of fabricated bizarre incidents. Claims that I don't wipe after using the bathroom, that I shower in my underwear and brush my teeth with body wash, that I steal my roommate's food, and that I propose splitting bills but always dodge payment. Worst of all, she accused me of literal extortion, to make her evidence more convincing to the masses. Yanghua attached random internet photos to every lie. My blood pressure spiked just looking at the slander. As the post went viral and the heat intensified, I was completely doxxed by the internet mob. A barrage of harassing calls and hate texts followed. But I wasn't about to play the victim. I posted a provocative video directly on my own account. I am the protagonist of that story, I declared. If you've got a problem, come say it to my face. I intentionally locked down the comment section, allowing only followers to send me direct messages. This petty move gained me 20,000 hate followers instantly, and the count was skyrocketing by the minute. Once I hit the 50,000 follower milestone, I compiled every single record of Yanghua's years of mooching, freeloading, and parasitic behavior. I dropped a massive expose thread, packed with undeniable screenshots and receipts. Suddenly, the tables turned and Yanghua's comments were flooded. A tidal wave of reports and harassment hit her hard, and her precious account with 70,000 followers was nuked. Instantly. She tried using a burner account to play the victim again, but the internet sleuths sniffed her out immediately. After her ancestors were thoroughly insulted, that account got banned too. Once Yanghua was the one being doxxed, her entire life spiraled into a chaotic nightmare. Strangers tripped her maliciously in public. She received paper coffins in her mail, and her bed was never left clean. It wasn't until a live centipede crawled out of her takeout that she finally suffered a total mental breakdown. Yanghua went crying to the principal, identifying her bullies and getting them all disciplined. The dust finally seemed to settle after that. But what caught Yanghua completely off guard was that my name was nowhere on that list. She repeatedly pressured the disciplinary committee, demanding they conduct a full investigation on Susen, convinced I was the mastermind. However, no matter how hard the committee dug, they couldn't find a shred of evidence linking me to the harassment. Yanghua had no choice but to swallow her frustration. Once the dust finally settled, I lay in bed, replaying my counter-offensive in my head. Yet the satisfaction wasn't as explosive as I'd anticipated. I picked up my phone and messaged my grandmother, "Grandma, are you asleep yet?" "Shinsin, not yet, sweetheart. I just got back from my square dancing group. I received those shoes you sent me. They are so incredibly comfortable. I don't have to worry about slipping while dancing anymore." Hearing Grandma's voice sounding so vibrant and full of life, my eyes began to sting with hot tears. In my previous life at this exact moment, Grandma was already wasting away in a hospital bed. Make sure you eat well at school. And don't be so stingy with your spending. Your grandma is as fit as a fiddle, so don't you worry about me. Her voice was overflowing with pure maternal love. Setting my phone down, I made a silent solemn vow. In this lifetime, I will protect this simple, ordinary happiness at all costs. A few days later, Yang Hua was humming a tune preparing to take a shower. I beat her to the punch, clearing out every single toiletry, leaving behind absolutely nothing, not even the toilet cleaner. My body wash and shampoo are still in there. I need to get them out immediately. I can't let some cheapskate leech off my stuff. Who said I wanted to use your trash anyway? I wouldn't touch that budget crap even if you paid me. Oh, Xin, I totally forgot to bring my body wash. Could I borrow some of yours for a bit? It can make ya. Of course you can. Fuming with rage, Yang Hua stormed out to use the neighbor's dorm. I was planning to sneak in a quick afternoon nap, but Liu Ruyan was making a chaotic racket in the bathroom, clattering and banging around. When I went to check, I found the rich baby clumsily trying to wash her own hair. She had squeezed out way too much shampoo, turning the entire bathroom into a mountain of bubbles. Quick, I need help. Water got in my eyes. And it stings so bad, Seeing her distress, I rushed to rinse the soap from Liu Ruyan's eyes, then carefully detangled her messy hair. It took quite a while before she was finally cleaned up. Liu Ruyan checked her reflection in the mirror, looking thoroughly pleased. She then whipped out her phone and transferred 2,000 yuan to me. Suddenly, I caught a suspicious noise from outside. I turned around just in time to see Yang Hua, who had just returned, sneakily hiding her phone away. I was certain she had just caught something on camera. Sure enough, not long after, Yang Hua's burner account dropped a scandalous update titled, SOS, what do I do if my roommate is a lesbian? It was a video of me and Liu Ruyan in the bathroom shot at a deceptive angle, to make it look like we were locked in a passionate kiss. The post went viral instantly. The comment section was flooded with people offering advice. Some suggested switching dorms, others told her to report us, and some even joked that if she couldn't beat us, join us. To say the least, the drama was peak entertainment. Liu Ruyan eventually scrolled past the post herself, slamming her phone down in a fit of absolute rage. She sent me 10,000 yuan on the spot, so she'd take her down for me. I was planning to wait a bit longer to let Yang Hua dig her own grave, but since the big boss has given the order, your loyal servant is ready to strike. And so, while Yang Hua was smugly doom-scrolling on her bed, I suddenly lunged forward, pulled her into my arms, and planted a kiss on her cheek. I snapped a photo at the perfect moment, and posted it in real time while she was still buffering in shock. I'm not just into her. I'm into you too. Do you like it? Yang Hua's face turned a sickly shade of green. She lunged at me, trying to snatch the phone to delete the evidence. I held the phone firmly out of reach. Zhu Qing, don't just stand there like an idiot. Help me, I yelled. Zhu Qing, come over here and pin her down. I'll give you 3,000. Zhu Qing didn't hesitate for a second, putting Yang Hua in a professional crosslock that left the girl completely immobilized. I seized the opportunity to grab her phone and scroll through her gallery. It was filled with nothing but trashy, scandalous photos, including shots of me sitting on the toilet. I figured we were just having some sisterly banter, but you're actually a total freak. Aren't you? What exactly were you planning to do with these photos? Yang Hua averted her gaze, refusing to cooperate. Even if she stays silent, I already know her game. What else could it be besides spreading malicious rumors? I'm laying it all out right here and now. If you have a grudge, take it out on me. Keep everyone else out of your toxic mess. Agree to this and I'll let you go. If you don't, Zhu Qing and I will take turns keeping you pinned. It's not like you ever show up to class anyway, so the teachers won't even notice you're missing. You wouldn't dare. Try me. Seeing that my gaze was even more predatory than hers, she finally buckled. Gritting her teeth, she reluctantly agreed to my terms. The two of us reached a temporary fragile truce. However, our dorm had already become infamous across the campus. Whenever we stepped out into the hallway, we instantly became the center of everyone's attention. Countless girls watched us, whispering behind our backs. Back in the dorm, Liu Ruyan stared into the mirror, fretting over her reflection again. Can someone please do my makeup? Diki is shady. I'll pay 2,000 yuan. Ruyan, I'm an expert at makeup. Let me do it for you. Liu Ruyan glanced at Yang Hua, then shifted her gaze between Zhu Qing and me. When it came to beauty, Yang Hua was undeniably the most skilled of the bunch. She spent most of her free time dolling herself up, whereas I rarely wore makeup at all. I wasn't confident I could deliver a result that would satisfy our golden patron, so I didn't bother competing for the job. But to everyone's absolute shock, Liu Ruyan grabbed my hand. I've gotten used to you. You do it. She literally never wears makeup. What kind of trashy look is she going to give you when she turns you into a literal ghost? Don't come crying to me. It's fine, just go for it. I only want a subtle, natural look. As long as it's not hideous, I'm happy. Fine. I'll give it a shot. Liu Ruyan handed me her makeup bag, leaving Yang Hua absolutely fuming with jealousy, forced to sit on the sidelines and seethe in silence. While I was carefully applying the lipstick, She accidentally slammed into me on her way to the bathroom. The lipstick smeared instantly, streaking a massive red gash across Liu Ruyan's mouth, stretching all the way to her earlobe. I frantically grabbed some makeup remover to wipe it away. I'm so sorry, that was entirely my fault. I completely botched your look. Let's just forget about the fee this time. After cleaning it, I reapplied the foundation, making the base look a bit heavier than it was before. Anxiously, I handed the mirror over to Liu Ruyan. Liu Ruyan examined her reflection, and to my surprise, she actually beamed with joy. Then she promptly transferred 2,000 yuan to my account. The moment Liu Ruyan stepped out the door, Yang Hua finally emerged from the bathroom. I splashed some makeup remover directly onto her face and began scrubbing her skin with both hands. Yang Hua shrieked while struggling to escape. Su Xin, what are you doing? Have you lost your damn mind? Are you going to keep playing these petty little games, Ig? Yang Hua shoved me away with all her might, screaming at the top of her lungs that I was a total psycho. I took a moment to reflect on her behavior. She truly couldn't stand to see me succeed in anything, from smashing my phone to the rumors and the makeup sabotage. It was as if my making money was shortening her own lifespan. The whole thing was utterly nonsensical, and that wasn't even the worst part. I was still receiving a barrage of hate texts every single day. I took a deep, steadying breath, wondering when this online nightmare would finally blow over. Later that night, I was huddled under my covers doom scrolling on my phone, when I received a friend request from a complete stranger. The note read, "I'm the owner of the milk tea shop where you work. I have something important I need to discuss with you." I hesitated for a brief second, before finally accepting the request. The owner's name was Mrs. Wang, a woman in her 30s. Xiao Xin. Have you offended someone recently? What's going on? Kyoso. A woman came into the shop today, screaming your name and claiming you stole her property. She caused a massive scene right in the middle of the store. I figured she was just looking for trouble, so I ignored her antics. But she took a photo of your work schedule. I'm worried she's planning to do something dangerous to you. It had to be Yang Hua. No one else would be petty enough to pull a stunt like that. Sister Wang, thank you so much for the heads up. That girl is actually my roommate. We've got some serious bad blood between us. I'll handle it. All right, she replied. Just make sure you watch your back. I gripped my phone until my knuckles turned white. That part-time gig at the milk tea shop is my primary lifeline for daily expenses. By doing this, Yang Hua is literally trying to starve me out. Early the next morning, I rushed over to the milk tea shop to coordinate a schedule change with Sister Wang. I needed to vanish during the hours Yang Hua was likely to strike. Sure enough, Yang Hua prowled back to the shop later that day, fully prepared to sabotage me mid-shift and ruin my reputation. But after lurking for days without catching a glimpse of me, she eventually gave up in frustration. That night, Yang Hua kicked off her livestream. Hey there, big brothers. It's my very first day streaming for you all. I've got some special treats for my favorite fans, Wait. She then provocatively undid her top button, swaying her hips in a suggestive dance to bait the viewers. Every time a virtual GIF popped up on screen, she let out a high-pitched syrupy "Thank you, big brother." She completely commandeered the center of the dorm, making it impossible for anyone else to even walk past. I was just about to snap at her, but Liu Ruyan pulled me back and gestured toward her swollen, reddened toes. My shoes are so tight. My nails are digging in and it hurts like hell. Clip them for me, will you? I'll give you a cool 1,000. I scrambled to find the clippers instantly. Hesitating for even a second would be disrespectful to that cash. Yang Hua stealthily angled her camera toward me, unable to resist throwing some shade. Life's a struggle, huh? Check out my roommate's latest performance, guys. She's literally down on her knees clipping a rich girl's toenails. I guess some people will throw away their dignity for a few pennies. No wonder your family has been dirt farmers for generations. Under the lens, I was perched on a tiny low stool, fresh-faced with messy hair, drowning in my oversized baggy pajamas. Meanwhile, Liu Ruyan looked like royalty, decked out in luxury designer brands from head to toe. The ultimate image of a pampered heiress. With one of her feet resting casually on my knee, I meticulously trimmed her nails, looking every bit like her humble, low-ranking servant. The bullet comments started flooding in with mocking agreement. LOL, just look at her face, she's got broke written all over her. Poor thing was born losing the race from the starting line. Bro, when you're poor, your ambition is just as bankrupt. Hey girl, I'll give you 10 bucks a toe. Come clip mine next. Seeing the viewers joining in on the mockery, Yang Hua's smug expression intensified. I continued meticulously trimming the nails, retorting without even looking up at her. I see those grapes you're staring at are still sour as ever. Which family in this country doesn't have farmers 3 generations back is so? Oh wait, if I remember correctly, your family is literally banking on selling their dozen pigs, just to keep your sorry ass in school. So what does that make you? A parasite sucking your parents dry while doing thirst traps in the city. Does it sting when you know someone's secrets? Your insults hit a lot harder. Yang Hua's face turned a sickly shade of green with rage. Once I finished, I packed up my tools. Liu Ruyan, thoroughly satisfied, promptly sent the transfer. When the voice alert 1000 yuan received echoed through the live stream, the comments flipped the script instantly. Wait, what? $1,000 just for clipping nails? Damn, I'd do that in a heartbeat. Yo, you can't let dignity get in the way of a bag like that. Where are these sugar mommies at? I have zero dignity, please come insult me. Watching the audience defect to my side. Yang Hua was fuming, but her eyes betrayed her absolute jealousy. She had to twist her body and sell thirst traps for at least 5 days just to scrape together 1000 yuan. Meanwhile, I spent a few minutes on a pedicure and pocketed her entire weekly salary. How could she not be green with envy? While Yang Hua was dazed and lost in thought, I reached over and slammed her camera shut. If you want to sell yourself online, do it on your own time. Don't record us while you're busy spiraling. Don't drag us down into your gutter. Also, what's going on in that brain of yours? Lights out is in a few minutes, and everyone needs to sleep. Are you so money hungry that you've lost your mind? If you want to stream, get the hell out of here and do it. I prodded her ego on purpose, and sure enough, she lunged at me in a blind rage. I retaliated by viciously twisting the flesh on her thighs. The entire scene descended into utter pandemonium. 10 minutes later, Zhu Ting summoned the counselor to pry us apart. Su Xin, why on earth are you bullying your classmate? She's just trying to earn a little extra for her expenses. Can you really not stand to see anyone else succeed? Oh, consider your scholarship for this month officially dead. Oh, so you say it's dead and that's it. Who do you think you are? Does your family own this school? Is that scholarship money coming out of your own paycheck? Oh? It was clearly Yang Hua who broke the rules first. This is a student dormitory. And if she doesn't feel like sleeping, does that mean the rest of us have to stay awake too? You walk in and immediately claim I'm the bully. But why don't you open your damn eyes and look? My body is covered in evidence of her attacking me. Now look at her. Is there a single mark on her from me? I thrust my arms forward, displaying the raw scratches and welts left by Yang Hua. The counselor was left speechless, darting a look toward Yang Hua, gesturing for her to show her own injuries, so he could continue lecturing me. But Yang Hua just bit her lip hard and stayed silent. Of course she did. I specifically targeted her rear and inner thighs. Bruises she couldn't possibly show. Sir, I'm feeling really dizzy. I might need to go to the infirmary. Then come. I'll personally escort you there, classmate. Yang Hua took the bait and collapsed into the counselor's arms. He pulled her close, his hands beginning to wander shamelessly. I knew right then that a scandalous show was about to start, so I stealthily crept after them. Sure enough, once they reached the infirmary, their flirtation escalated into a full-blown illicit tryst. I crouched by the window watching the spectacle unfold, all while recording every sordid detail with my phone. After returning from the infirmary, I lay in bed replaying that video over and over. I felt a sickening mix of emotions. The counselor acts like such a pillar of virtue, yet he's doing this kind of filth behind closed doors. What's even more revolting is that Yang Hua would actually sell her soul and body to such a disgusting degree just for money and favors. I encrypted the video and tucked it away securely. This is the ultimate trump card. I can't play this card until the absolute perfect moment. Over the next few days, I began keeping a sharp eye on Yang Hua's movements. She'd frequently sneak out around 10 o'clock at night, only creeping back into the dorm at 1 or 2 in the morning. Once I feigned waking up for a midnight bathroom break and caught her stealthily climbing back into her bunk, reeking of a nauseating mix of cheap cigarettes and booze. Where have you been? Hi. None of your damn business. I let out a cold, sharp smirk and didn't push her for more answers. But I already had it all figured out. Yang Hua wasn't just messing around with the counselor. There was a much bigger fish on her hook. In the days that followed, Yang Hua became increasingly bold and reckless, streaming at noon, streaming in the afternoon, even streaming in the dead of night. Lu Ruyan finally hit her breaking point, tossing her 500 yuan just to get some peace. It only bought us a moment of silence. 2 hours later, she was back at it, claiming contractual obligations forced her to stream. Even the counselor only made a half-hearted attempt to stop her. Those days felt like an eternity in hell. Until one day, Yang Hua finally stopped her broadcast, smugly bragging to the rest of us, "My #1 donor is taking me out to dinner tonight. A 5-star restaurant, luxury vibes only. Should I bring you losers some leftovers? Ugh, Shinsen, my shoulders are killing me. Give me a quick massage, would you? I'll pay you 3,000. You got it." I've actually been practicing some new techniques lately. I'll give you the royal treatment, guaranteed satisfaction. Yang Hua let out a dismissive huff and headed out for her date. In the middle of the night, she sent me a frantic live location, begging me to come and pick her up. It was playing out exactly like my previous life. Yang Hua was wasted, and her top donor was refusing to let her leave, trying to drag her forcibly to a hotel, because that donor was legendary for being incredibly hideous. Yang Hua wanted absolutely nothing to do with him, so she reached out to me as her literal lifeline. In my past life, I had rushed out immediately to save her, doing everything in my power to shield her from him. I even got groped myself while trying to protect her. It wasn't until the police finally arrived that the top donor begrudgingly let the two of them go. In the end, the very person I risked everything to protect was the one who snatched my life away. This time, I went to the hotel again. However, it wasn't to play the hero for Yang Hua, but to witness her descent into the abyss with my own eyes. I filmed the entire scene of her being dragged into the hotel by that greasy obese creep. Then I casually strolled back to the dorm to enjoy a peaceful, uninterrupted night of sleep. Early the next morning, Yang Hua returned with massive dark circles under her eyes, clutching expensive breakfast for everyone in the dorm. This single basket of buns cost 128 yuan. I bet you losers have never tasted anything this elite. My boyfriend specifically bought these for me, you know. Oh my god, Hua Hua, you're literally the best. I've never had such a luxury breakfast in my entire life. You're seriously so talented to snag a high-rolling boyfriend like that. Let me show you guys his photo. He's a total hottie, right? Yang Hua showed them the picture of her top donor, though it was heavily filtered and photoshopped. Even with maxed out beauty filters and face slimming, his features still look tragically mediocre at best. Don't even bother looking, Sushin. A girl like you will never encounter a man of this caliber. Sorry to burst your bubble, but I'm a lesbian. I'm not into men. And I'm definitely not into trash like that. Yang Hua's face soured like she just swallowed a fly. She was about to snap back with a retort, but the phone in her pocket suddenly shrieked. As soon as she answered, her face drained of color, and she bolted out of the dorm in a panic. A slow, satisfied smirk spread across my lips. 1 hour later, Yang Hua returned to the dorm limping, clutching a face that was red and severely swollen. She violently grabbed me and dragged me away, pinning me against the corner. Was it you? You're the only one who knew my location last night. Why did you leak that video to the principal? What are you even talking about? What video? And what does the principal have to do with anything? If it wasn't you, then you didn't come to Chengguang Hotel. I was out like a light all night. If you don't believe me, ask Zhu Qing. Yang Hua was seething with rage but had nowhere to vent it. She paused to deliberate for a moment, eventually crossing me off her list of suspects. After all, she had never breathed a word to me about her dirty little secret as the principal's mistress. I softened my tone, putting on a fake mask of concern. What happened? Did someone actually lay a hand on you? No, it's nothing. I just took a nasty spill. Well, you'd better watch your step then. Since you're so blessed in the looks department, you shouldn't go leaking your location so carelessly. Who knows what kind of creeps might be hunting you? Yang Hua saw nothing but pure sincerity in my eyes. Recalling that the video was sent anonymously, she couldn't rule out the possibility of a random stalker. Yang Hua's expression finally began to relax, though her eyes were still darting around plotting. The next second, she offered a pathetic, humble apology. I'm sorry. Xiaoxin, I totally misjudged you. I've been incredibly selfish lately, completely ignoring your feelings like a jerk. Is there any way you can find it in your heart to forgive me? Our friendship is dead and buried. From now on, just stay out of my way and we're good. Fine, but Xiaoxin, my leg is really messed up from the fall. Could you do me a huge favor and go to Professor Shu's office to pick up my thesis for me? Watching her beg like a fly rubbing its legs together, it suddenly hit me. In my previous life, she had asked me to do the exact same thing. But the very next day, I was publicly shamed and penalized. They accused me of stealing her original thesis, since the surveillance footage proved that I had indeed entered Professor Su's office and was seen carrying Yang Hua's papers. I was left with no way to prove my innocence. In reality, Yang Hua hadn't even finished writing that thesis, yet she claimed I had swapped it out of sheer jealousy. I ended up with a major demerit on my record. My hard-earned scholarship was stripped away, and Yang Hua waltzed off with the graduate school recommendation. Thinking back to that betrayal, my fists clenched instinctively, and the look I gave her was laced with pure unadulterated venom. And what if I decide to say no? If you refuse to help me, I'll livestream every single night until dawn. Kiss your scholarship for next month, goodbye. Fine, I'll go and grab it for you. But you have to do me a favor in return. What kind of favor? It's not going to be a hassle, right? Not at all. Just a tiny simple request. Stop your live streams after 11 p.m., okay? No way, I still have a mortgage to... Look, I have to stream until at least midnight. That's my final offer. Fine, whatever. So that's why she's so obsessed with chasing the bag. Turns out, someone actually bought her an apartment, and now she's hustling like crazy to cover the mortgage. I began walking toward Professor Shu's office, with Yang Hua tailing me in the shadows filming everything. She was internally gloating, thinking she had me cornered. But just as she was dreaming of her scheme succeeding, her phone pinged with a sudden message from Professor Su. While she was still confused since she hadn't even reported me yet, wondering why on earth he was looking for her, she spotted me already standing inside the office. A wave of pure dread washed over her. Professor Yang Hua is the one who forced me to do this. She demanded that I sneak in and take her thesis. I have no idea why she would even ask for such a thing. Yanghua, what is going on with your paper? Professor, it's not what she's saying at all. I'm completely innocent in this. She's the one trying to swap my thesis out. If you don't believe me, just check the surveillance footage. Professor Shu, his face dark with fury, pulled up the recording. The video showed that although I had entered the office and even located Yanghua's specific thesis, I hadn't actually laid a single finger on it to take it away. Instead, I was seen taking a deep, shaky breath, as if I were making an agonizing, life-changing decision. I covered my face, sobbing as I called Professor Sue. Hello? Professor, my friend Yanghua is blackmailing me. She's forcing me to steal her thesis back so she can rewrite it. But my conscience, I just can't bring myself to do it. Yanghua, do you have anything else to say for yourself? It's slander. This is all just a malicious frame-up. This is nothing but her biased, one-sided story. What does this even prove anyway? My thesis has already been submitted officially, and I wasn't the one caught stealing it. I knew she'd play the plausible deniability card until the end. So I hit play on the recording of our conversation from earlier. Hearing her own voice, Yanghua's entire body went limp. She never imagined I'd be several steps ahead of her. Realizing that any further lies were completely futile, she collapsed into a puddle of pathetic crocodile tears. She groveled pathetically at Professor Shu's feet. Professor, I was wrong. I'll rewrite the entire thing, please. Can you find it in your heart to forgive me just this once? Su-Xin, say something. Please help me out. Aren't we supposed to be best friends? Mari. Yanghua, you've truly crossed the line this time. If you didn't want to write it, you should have just told me. But blackmailing your own classmate will key. You're heading down a very dark path, young lady. After a harsh verbal lashing, the professor dismissed them both. Only a few minutes later, a formal disciplinary notice flashed across the official campus website and every chat group. Official notice, October 19th, 2025. Following a formal report, student Yanghua failed to submit her thesis on time and coerced a classmate into stealing it back for a rewrite. Upon a thorough internal investigation, these allegations have been fully substantiated. The following disciplinary actions are hereby enforced. 1. A formal written warning and a major demerit on record. 2. A mandatory 3,000-word self-reflection essay. 3. An immediate failing grade for the entire course. We expect all students to take heed and uphold our standards. The moment they stepped out of the office, Yanghua cornered me in the deserted hallway. Well played, Su-Xin, you absolute snake. I never imagined you were this calculating, or this damn good at playing the victim. I learned from the best, didn't I? This is all thanks to you. You just wait. This isn't over yet. Yanghua hissed the threat and stomped away in a rage. I watched her leave with a look of pure disdain, completely unfazed by her empty threats. Yanghua had been a toxic tyrant in the dorm for too long, and since the counselor refused to act, I had already organized the surrounding dorms to file a massive joint petition against her. The results of that fallout should land any day now. Meanwhile, the principal's wife had somehow caught wind of her husband's sordid little affair. The discovery sparked a legendary blowout fight, and she even posted a mistress wanted notice on the campus wall. The bounty for identifying the girl was a staggering 100,000 yuan. I silently snapped a photo of the reward poster, heading back to the dorm with a heavy, complicated heart. As I lay in bed, I stared at the principal's wife's contact info on my screen, my thumb hovering over the send button, hesitating. I didn't notice Liu Ruyan sneaking up beside me, staring at my phone screen with intense curiosity. I jolted in surprise, instantly tucking the phone away. Jinsin, what's on your mind? Nothing much. I saw that bounty post too. You're not actually thinking of snitching on Yanghua, are you? She's definitely gone too far, yeah. But if you report her now, it'll haunt her for the rest of her life. It'll completely destroy her. She didn't care about destroying my life, so why should I care? Fair enough. Whatever you decide to do, I've got your back. That night, Yanghua was clearly out for mindless revenge, singing and dancing even more obnoxiously than usual. But as I lay there in bed, my head felt heavy and my vision started to blur. My entire body felt weak and leaden. It took everything I had just to sit up, because Yanghua's racket was reaching a deafening level. The girls from the floor below stormed up to bang on our door. Yanghua ignored them completely, only reluctantly swinging the door open. Once they returned with the counselor in tow. What? Why are you losers harassing us in the middle of the night? Oh, so you actually know it's the middle of the night. If you don't want to sleep, does that mean no one else can? That just sounds like you guys have poor sleep hygiene. Look at my roommates. They're sleeping like babies, Vanisha. They live in this room and don't have a single complaint. So why are you all barking like dogs? Everyone was left speechless by her audacity. The counselor gave her a pathetic verbal warning, and Yanghua impatiently shoved everyone out of the way. Early the next morning, Liu Ruyan begged me for another massage. Sin, Eat. I feel like my whole body is aching. I'm so exhausted. Rub my shoulders, please. I'll pay you. She was yawning uncontrollably as she spoke. To be honest, I was feeling incredibly sore myself. but at the thought of the cold hard cash. I pushed through the fatigue to massage Liu Ruyan's shoulders. The moment my hands touched her skin, a notification popped up in our group chat. It was a formal reply to our joint complaint email. An investigative team was being dispatched after lunch today. According to the campus gossip vultures, the counselor's actual girlfriend, Chu-yun, was a high-ranking member of the disciplinary committee and was personally leading this investigation. I retrieved the burner phone I had prepared in advance, patiently awaiting Chu-yun's grand arrival. Right on cue as the clock struck noon, 3 officials with blue badges marched toward the dormitory. I pulled my cap low and adjusted my mask, slipping into the shadows of the stairwell landing, to discreetly drop the phone, which had no passcode. The moment anyone swiped to unlock that screen, they would be greeted by the most explosive content imaginable. The trio chatted as they ascended the stairs, and the strategically placed device caught their eyes instantly. The tall guy on the left scooped it up, wondering aloud which scatterbrain had lost their phone. He habitually swiped the screen to check for an owner, exposing the scandalous footage of Yang Hua and the counselor. The tall student recognized the man immediately. The star of the lewd video was none other than Chu-yun's boyfriend. Chu-yun's face contorted into a mask of pure murderous rage. She snatched the phone, watched for a moment, and confiscated it. The second they stepped into our dorm room, she locked eyes with the female lead from the video. "It's you. You're the one. The little tramp who's been sleeping with my man." Before Yang Hua could even process what was happening, Chu-yun delivered 2 stinging high-velocity slaps. Never one to back down, Yang Hua lunged at her in a frenzy. The brutal catfight between the 2 women drew a massive crowd of students from the entire floor. Several anonymous witnesses even live-streamed the chaos online. In the aftermath, the counselor was summarily fired by the school, and Chu-yun petitioned to become our floor's new counselor, specifically to make Yang Hua's life a living hell. Now Yang Hua wraps herself like a mummy whenever she goes out, terrified that someone will recognize her face. The atmosphere in our dorm has become incredibly tense. Even Zhu Qing has begun to dodge her like the plague, refusing to utter a single word in her direction. Liu Ruyan's approach was even more blunt. The second Yang Hua enters the room, she clamps on her noise-canceling headphones, treating the girl like she's a literal ghost. Only I maintained a cold, neutral distance from the drama. Until one afternoon, I crossed paths with the principal's wife at the library. She was buried in research papers, looking utterly exhausted and haggard, the wrinkles around her eyes much deeper than when we last met. I hesitated for a heartbeat, then walked over and softly called out, "Auntie, who are you? I'm Yang Hua's roommate. Regarding that mistress wanted notice you posted, I believe we have much to discuss." Her eyes ignited with a sudden sharp intensity. I handed her my phone, displaying the saved videos and photos, revealing everything, including Yang Hua and the principal's intimate tryst inside his very office, along with her scandalous chat logs with other men. The principal's wife trembled with rage. "I knew it. I knew that bastard was seeing someone behind my back, Victus." "Auntie, what do you plan to do now? Thank you for bringing this to light. Rest assured I will put this evidence to very good use." As I watched the principal's wife walk away, her back rigid with resolve, a complex wave of emotions washed over me. Night fell once more, and Yang Hua was back on her live stream, though she was significantly more subdued than before. The moment I sat on my bed, I began yawning uncontrollably. Liu Ruyan was in the same state, and when I looked over at Zhu Qing, an alarm bell went off in my head. Something was dead wrong. She hadn't shown up for a single class in days. Aside from eating, she hadn't moved from her bed once. Worse, her entire body appeared alarmingly bloated. "Shinsen, give me a massage." "I'm so freaking tired." Liu Ruyan let out another massive weary yawn, looking completely drained of all vitality. This was already the 3rd time today. She had paid me for 3 separate massages in one day. While the extra cash was great, this wasn't right. Something was seriously dangerously off. I walked over to inspect Zhu Qing more closely. Her face was terrifyingly swollen and flushed, her breathing ragged and shallow, as if she were desperately gasping for air. Without hesitation, I dialed 120 for an emergency. The moment Yang Hua heard me calling the paramedics, her suspicious expression morphed into pure unadulterated panic. Noticing her bizarre reaction, I barked at her to run to the infirmary for an oxygen tank. "Why the hell should I go, Shate?" "Because if you waste another second, Zhu Qing is going to die. Do you want her blood on your hands?" Yang Hua hesitated for a heartbeat, then finally bolted toward the infirmary. I carefully helped Zhu Qing sit up to ease her breathing. Propping her against the wall, I steadily rubbed her back to ease her gasping. 10 minutes later, Yang Hua finally sprinted back with the oxygen cylinder. After inhaling the oxygen, Zhu Qing's breathing stabilized slightly. Half an hour later, the ambulance arrived and whisked her away. Yang Hua frantically grabbed several small vials from her cabinet, shoving them into her pocket. Seeing her about to bolt, I called out to stop her. "Where do you think you're going, Ganaitok? My trash can is overflowing. I'm just going to empty it." Based on my years of dealing with her schemes, this was a dead giveaway that she was panicking. the girl who never lifted a finger to clean, was suddenly eager to take out the trash. I shadowed Yanghua stealthily from a distance. After dumping her bag into the bin, she furtively tossed those small vials as well. The moment she left, I retrieved the discarded bottles. The labels were covered in complex medical English, but there was one specific word I recognized instantly. It translated to diazepam, a powerful sedative. I cursed her under my breath for being an absolute psychopath, then carefully secured the evidence and followed her again. She made a frantic phone call while walking, and headed straight for the principal's office. I crept up and pressed my ear against the office window, inside the principal's sanctum. The two of them instantly locked in a disgusting embrace, sleeping with other men behind my back so. And yet you still have the nerve to come crawling to me. The counselor blackmailed me into it. He had photos of us together, so I've been terrified to even step out of my room lately. I'm scared to death your wife is going to find me. She's even posted a bounty to hunt down your mistress. Well, there's nothing I can do about that. Yep. My reputation is far too valuable to risk. If it's that bad, why don't you just divorce her already? Impossible. She is my public image. If I leave her now, years of careful networking and status building go down the drain. Then what am I supposed to do? If she tracks me down, she'll literally beat me to death. We just need to find ourselves a convenient scapegoat. A university has a shortage of many things, but desperate, naive students aren't one of them. I know exactly who to frame. Su Xin, we might be friends on paper, but she's always been an annoying, loathsome pest. Yanghua began acting all coy and spoiled with the principal, and the two of them dove right back into their vulgar business, grooming a scapegoat to take the fall for being a mistress. I didn't know whether to marvel at their audacity or their pure evil. Fighting back the urge to gag, I finished recording the footage and retreated back to the dormitory. I meticulously organized the evidence of Zhu Qing being drugged, bundling it together with the scandalous video of the principal, and blasting it to the key players, the principal's wife, the disciplinary inspection team, and several high-profile influencers who ran the most influential campus gossip pages. With the send button finally clicked, I leaned back in my chair and let out a long, heavy breath. Suddenly, my phone vibrated. It was a video call from my mother. She pointed the camera toward my grandmother, who was sitting in the yard chatting with some neighbors, her face radiating pure, genuine happiness. Oh, such a genuine happiness. Jin Sin, your grandmother was so thrilled with the shoes you sent. She wears them every single day to go square dancing, and she won't stop bragging about them to her old friends. Grandma, are you feeling okay? Is your health all right? I'm wonderful, darling. Just wonderful. Sin, focus on your studies at school and work hard. Don't you worry about us back home. When you come back for the holidays, Grandma, we'll cook all of your favorite dishes. After the screen went dark, I wiped away the stray tears in the corners of my eyes. In this lifetime, I have finally succeeded in protecting the people I love most. Early the next morning, the principal's wife dragged Yanghua out to the sports field and thrashed her until she was barely clinging to life. On the massive stadium screen, the censored footage of her and the principal played on a loop. In an instant, the entire campus erupted into a total frenzy. I headed to the hospital to visit the newly conscious Zhu Qing after explaining the full scope of the nightmare to her. Zhu Qing agreed to sue Yanghua for attempted murder. On my own social media accounts, I exposed all of Yanghua's bizarre and toxic dorm behavior, along with a best-of montage of her most scandalous clips. Right before her arrest, Yanghua logged into her account, only to find her entire world crumbling around her. The comment sections were flooded with her leaked private info. Enraged netizens were vowing to hunt down her and her family. The sheer terror nearly made Yanghua lose control of her bladder, but the true storm was only beginning to gather. He faced a joint lawsuit from the three of us for attempted murder, and with the mountain of evidence we provided, she was sentenced to 7 years behind bars. Due to her contract breach, she owed the agency $200,000 in damages, and since the apartment was bought with the principal's marital assets, the court ordered the return of the 500,000 yuan down payment. Trapped within the cold walls of the prison, Yanghua desperately called her parents begging for mercy. Mom, Dad, please save me, but they were too ashamed to even acknowledge her, refusing to file a single appeal even after she was locked away. Only her elderly grandmother sold her pigs overnight, desperate to rescue her precious granddaughter from her fate, but she suffered a devastating fall on her way to the prison. Her family couldn't even scrape together 80,000 for the surgery, leaving her grandmother paralyzed for the rest of her life. I personally penned a letter to Yanghua in her cell, making sure she knew every detail of her grandmother's tragic fall. At first, she refused to believe the words on the page, cursing my name in a fit of denial and rage, before finally breaking down and begging me to save her grandmother. In the end, she scribbled the words, "I'm sorry," in thick, jagged ink. When that final letter finally reached my hands, I was working my shift at the milk tea shop. Sister Wang mentioned that someone had sent me a package. I tore it open with trembling fingers, to find a prison-stamped envelope inside. The stationery was visibly stained with dried tear marks, Yanhua's handwriting was frantic and completely distorted, and those final words, "I'm so sorry," were crossed out so violently that the ink had bled through to the very back of the paper. After my shift, I visited Zhu Qing at the hospital. She was recovering remarkably well and was already able to get out of bed and walk around. Xin, thank you so much. If it weren't for you, I might have... Don't even go there. Just focus on getting your strength back. Once you are discharged, we're going for a massive feast. As I stepped out of the hospital, the evening sun was painting the sky in brilliant hues. I stood there at the entrance, watching the endless flow of people passing me by, suddenly overwhelmed by the feeling that I had lived an entire lifetime. Just then, my phone buzzed in my pocket. It was a text from Liu Ruyan. Xin, where are you? I just splurged on some high-end makeup. Get over here and do my face, would you? I'll pay you 2,000. On my way, I replied, pocketing my phone. I took a deep, liberating breath, walking toward the campus against the golden sunset. In this life, I have finally become the person I was always meant to be. I have my boundaries, my dignity, and people worth protecting. And as for those who once dared to hurt me, they have finally rotted in the hell they deserved.